Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to It's Still Real to Me. I'm your host, John Kucher, aka Johnny Fashion. With me, as always, Big Bad Harmon. What's going on tonight, my man?
Well, good evening, sir.
Hey. So it's like a Friday night, and we're podcasting because we're two cool old dudes from Maine. That's what we
Are
do.
you kidding? You just interrupted my Fuller House marathon, so
Oh my God, yeah. Can we talk about Fuller House for a second? Goodness gracious.
it's
Uh,
it's great.
It's amazing, right?
It hits me right in the old, 12-year-old feels.
Right in the feels.
Right in the feels. Probably
Yeah.
younger than that, because that show started when, like 89.
Yeah. I just remember it being on like the TGIF lineup
Oh
with
yeah,
like
it anchored that thing.
yeah, oh yeah, totally. Family Matters, Step by Step. I can't remember the fourth original one, maybe. Like I
I
don't
think it
know.
changed because didn't they have like dinosaurs was on that too?
Dinosaurs, yeah. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, maybe.
No,
Um
I thought that was a Saturday morning thing.
yeah, it might have been a Saturday morning thing.
Whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, Fuller House is pretty amazing. I had
Yeah.
a rush of nostalgia running through my spine today. I watched about 9 episodes of it. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm on episode like 3, and they just all look amazing.
They look great. This is the weirdest way to start a wrestling podcast, but it's
It
still.
sure is.
But you know what? As much as wrestling is still real to me, Full House is still real to me. I love it. It's so good. It was,
They don't miss a beat either. It's like they stopped filming last week, and then now it's 29 years later.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy. Like the Full House shtick kind of comedy thing was right
Oh
there.
yeah,
It was like
seamless,
90s sitcom. It was great.
seamless.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And the cast looks amazing, like you mentioned. The ladies that are our age as well, like Stephanie Tanner, DJ Tanner, like they
Yeah,
look incredible. Even Gibbler looks fantastic. So, um, I had so much fun just watching that today. It was great. Like I literally laughed out loud by my lonesome. Like at a few episodes, the young kid that they got to play like
oh, it's
the middle
hilarious.
the middle brother of like DJ's kids, like, dude, the kid's a riot. Like,
He's got
what a
ridiculous
find.
comic timing.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. That kid's like a star in the making right there. It's great. So I laughed out loud so many times at that kid, just at the show in general. I thought the writing is really good. And then even at one point I even gave it an applause. I was like, oh, this is hitting me right here. Good.
I
Loved it.
was
Yeah.
checking my Facebook, and like everybody, who is in the 30 to 35-year-old range is watching that show tonight. So
Yeah. Yeah. They should too. And I don't know why, but I heard like some people say it wasn't like very good like a couple days ago. I don't know if they got like a pre-screening or something, and people were like, "Oh, this is it's super cheesy." I'm like, "Well, of course it's super cheesy. That's what it was."
yeah,
Like
the
if it
show
wasn't,
was
it would
easy.
suck. Yeah, it's 90s TV, man. It's great. So,
Yeah,
but anyway,
just to wrap it up, it's not edgier, it's not different, it's still corny jokes, and
yeah.
it's just good old-fashioned family television.
Yeah,
And
I will say though, I'll give you a heads up. There are some kind of racier jokes later on, because like I said, I watched about 9 episodes of it today, which is kind of embarrassing. But it was great. I just let Netflix roll in every 3 episodes. It was like, "Are you still watching?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am. I'm literally right here, way ahead of you, ready to hit next, like ready to hit play."
so
But yeah, there's
four and a
some.
half hours of your day today you spent watching Fuller House.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some stuff, I guess,
You don't
maybe
have to
during,
lie.
but
You don't have to lie.
not so much. Yeah. I was very dedicated to it. At one point, which this is very different for me, I actually I put my phone down and like away and actually like paid attention to a show, which doesn't happen very often. Um, a show like that. But it was phenomenal. There's definitely some racier jokes later on. They talk a lot about the women who I mentioned earlier, like their breasts. They mention knockers and cans. They like refer to them as that. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, did they talk like this when I was a kid and I just wasn't picking up on it, or what? Like, this But I don't know, man, it was great. It was so good.
The
So
episode I just saw, DJ referenced her, like the Uber driver seeing her boobers or something, and I was like, ha ha ha, giggle, giggle. You know
yeah.
what? You know what this show's better than? Fastlane.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's get into it. Fastlane was garbage. Fuller House is 10 times better than Fastlane was. Fastlane was so shitty.
So Fastlane was
We
like
didn't do,
a 2. Fuller House was
yeah,
like an 8, and
yeah.
Shane O'Mac showing up on Raw was a 10.
Yeah. So we're definitely not going to do like a rundown of Fastlane at all because it was so terrible. But we'll just say that it was really bad. We didn't do a review show on it. We didn't even do a preview and prediction show on it because I don't think anybody was even anticipating it being good. I will say this: the first 2 matches I thought were pretty good. I thought the Divas tag team match was really good, and then I thought the IC title match was really good. And then after that, it just got progressively
it went right in the
worse
shitter.
and worse and worse. And like nothing could save it.
Yeah.
Like
the Wyatts lost for no other reason than, Ryback needs a win. You had R-Truth and Curtis Axel having a match
just out of nowhere
for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not even Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose could save that card. Like that match I thought was pretty shitty.
This is like the 5th time that Dean Ambrose has been the hands down fan favorite to win a match.
Yeah.
Like they want it so bad and they just pull it out from underneath them.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. Like I get the tease and it makes sense. But at some point, you gotta like cut your losses with Roman Reigns and just be like, okay, we're gonna put this thing on pause and we're just gonna like, we're gonna pick this up somewhere else and let it happen organically. Because Roman Reigns, like everybody loves to shit on Roman Reigns, and I will say this about Roman Reigns: I like Roman Reigns. I think that he's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I mean, he is what he is. He is what he is. Like he's a powerhouse. He can put on a good match, but I mean, the guy can't talk very well, so don't make him
It's not
talk.
that he can't talk. He can. He's getting better. It's just the way he does it. He's got this aloof, goofy, yo bro, brother, family fucking thing going on, and it doesn't relate to anybody. He's
Right.
not overcoming anybody because he never loses. He's part of the Samoan legacy, which kills him, I think, because it's the proud Samoans and all this crap they used to throw down our throats. It's like, yeah, we know he's gonna be good.
Right. Yeah. It's just so funny. Like, I think I mentioned this to you the other day. It's like, if you look at that Royal Rumble where he almost won, the one where Batista ended up taking it. If you look at that one, how over Roman Reigns was that year, and then a mere 1 year later, he was just booed
chasing that
the
ever
shit
since.
out of him.
They've been chasing that moment ever since. They're like, oh, we really missed that. We need to get that back. And they've tried and they can't. You cannot, you can't catch that, genie in the bottle again. It's not going to happen.
I think it's lightning in a bottle.
Oh, is that what it is? Sorry, I was
looking
at a picture of Christina Aguilera.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah. The voice is starting back up.
I heard she's dirty.
Oh, so dirty. Sorry.
But yeah, man, I don't, like I said, I don't hate the Roman Reigns. I like Roman. I think he would be a fine champion, but it's just like we just don't want that right now. And I'm just so sick of WWE being like, fuck what you want. Like, this is what we want. And I get it. Like fans have been, I've kind of been on the edge, because fans have been like, immediately after Fastlane, I saw so many tweets and so many Facebook posts that was like, I'm so sick and tired of WWE cramming Roman Reigns down our throats. And it's like, well, I mean, what else do you expect from them by now? I mean, did you really think Dean Ambrose is going to win? Like, I knew that going into this. It was all...
I mean, they shoved Triple H down our throats for years.
Right. But I mean, it was just very predictable. I mean, we all knew that Reigns and Triple H were going to be fighting at WrestleMania because that's what makes sense. Like, Triple H's only purpose to go into the Rumble was to fuck Reigns over, and and I don't even think necessarily the title was if you were to take Triple H's this, think of this as kayfabe. Like Triple H's thing wasn't to win the belt; it was to make sure Roman Reigns didn't, and he happened to win the whole thing and get the belt, and that's actually kind of awesome compared to Roman winning that Royal
But then he
Rumble.
lets Roman into a triple threat match for the chance to wrestle at WrestleMania. If you don't want Roman to win, why let him in that match?
Right, exactly. I don't know. There's just no fluidity of it. I don't know. It was just very predictable. I'm like, okay, yeah, Roman Reigns is going to fight Triple H. So I knew who was winning that triple threat match. There was never any disbelief that he wasn't taking that home. So I don't know. It's moments like that I get really turned off with WWE because when it's great, when it's good, it's great. when it's bad, it's really bad. And speaking of it being great, the following night on Raw took everybody by surprise. We've all been speculating for weeks now who the Undertaker's opponent is going to be at WrestleMania. People are throwing out, John Cena, Bray Wyatt. I can't, so many names. And then out of nowhere, literally nowhere, Shane McMahon comes back to start the show off. This is insane.
Oh, blew the roof off the place.
Man, what a reception he got in Detroit, man. It was great. It was crazy. Everybody's doing the yes chants. I mean, it was just crazy. Shane O'Mac is just smiling from ear to ear. It was a phenomenal moment. Nobody predicted that. If you said Shane McMahon's gonna fight Undertaker, that was insane. Nobody on this planet said that. That's just crazy. I couldn't believe it. So Shane O'Mac comes out to interrupt the whatever award Vincent Legacy McMahon thing, which was total hogwash from the beginning. I loved how they tried to sell that off like it was going to be real, and that's another thing.
A legitimate thing yet? No.
Right. I was like, oh, that's clearly a swerve for something. The second I saw that, I'm like, oh, they're just going to have this weird out of nowhere prestigious award. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And
nope.
Yeah. And so, and I kind of speculated who that was going to go to. And I thought Steph or Triple H or Vince, I thought would give it to himself or something but I don't know. I just thought it was kind of hokey. But Shane O'Mac comes up, interrupts Stephanie getting the award, does a lot of cool things, man. Just cool things without even saying anything. How Vince goes to hug him and he just puts his hand up on his chest to Nope. Vince goes to shake his hand. He just blocks it, pushes his hand down. I'm like, it was just so cool. So cool. I think
those kicks.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he had some fancy dancing shoes on there, and he still got the moves, still got the money shakers. I love him. It was great. I think you said it to me too. I think you texted it to me. Maybe you were like, it was great how Shane talked to them. He just talked to them like they were children, and I was like, it was perfect. He controlled the ring. It was great.
Did you hear that?
No.
What was it? I don't know how this Hangouts things works.
Oh, what are you doing over there, fancy pants?
Hold on.
Oh, what are you doing? I hope you... Huh?
Shush. There, did it work that time?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, well, that was dead air. Thanks a lot, YouTube.
Thanks, man. You're just causing me work and editing later. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But this YouTube thing that says we can use, and I tried playing the Shane O'Mac entrance music, and it says push to talk, and
I could just sing it. Here comes the money. No, all right.
That's what I was trying to do, but
you're a failure.
First world problems.
I know, right? Can't get Hangouts to work. Boo.
Boo.
Oh man. So it was a great moment. Another one of like those very few and far between awesome Raw moments. That's one that will probably go down in history as a really good one. So I haven't seen anything good on Raw like that since, obviously the Daniel Bryan retirement a couple weeks ago. So the Shane O'Mac thing was just so awesome. I still couldn't believe it. Like as the night went on, I was like, did that really happen? Like that's insane. The guy's been gone for 6 years. Yeah. So basically he, he wants the company, tells Triple H and Steph they've been running it into the ground, and wants the company. And
which I like because it hits so close to home.
Very close to home. Yeah.
That's almost breaking kayfabe, to say that, stuff's not going as well as you think it should be going, and throw that out there. So
yeah, and like he was mentioning,
it was actually so confusing that the New York Times had to have somebody like ask the WWE if Shane was really like had anything to do like with the company backstage and stuff and like running the company, if they're have to change their org chart on whether or not he was moving into a slot, because they're a publicly traded company.
Right.
And they're like, no, it's just a character thing. He's just going to be a character on TV.
That's so awesome. I love that, man. That's the thing. When it's good, it's
great. The New York Times is confused. Good job.
Yeah, man. When you can really make people confused if it's real life or not, like, man, like probably the biggest moment ever was like NWO. Well, Scott Hall and Nash like kind of infiltrating WCW, like. That was a moment where people were like, shit, is this real? Like,
where Hogan came out and ended up being their partner that night was just,
it was just like, is this fucking real?
So angry, angry, and they were throwing shit in the ring. Like it was just such a good swerve. This was a good swerve. I was expecting, I don't know, the Bullet Club more than I was expecting Shane McMahon. I was thinking of different things and what could happen.
I was thinking the same lines too. Like I was thinking like who's Shane
McMahon coming back was like number 25 on a list of things that I thought might happen.
Yeah, totally.
It was way down there.
Yeah, I was thinking like Finn Balor. I was thinking like all these like guys that would kind of make sense for Undertaker to face, and it's weird because this match literally has nothing to do with Undertaker, which is kind of strange. I mean, he has nothing to worry about in this match. Like he doesn't have anything to lose.
Yeah, he's already lost the streak, so there's that.
Yeah. So like, why would he even do this? First of all, like he's probably doesn't give a shit about Vince, like who controls the company. He wrestles once or twice a year, maybe. So I don't know. It's just weird that it's a weird matchup. Like I'll give you that. Like it's kind of a weird thing. And Shane kind of being out for 6 years and at his age and not a wrestler getting into a Hell in a Cell match.
He looked like he's in pretty good shape though.
No, totally. He definitely does. Like and if he's been like secretly training, that's probably one thing, but like he's been gone for 6 years and you can be in shape all you want, but to just be thrown into a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania for not wrestling in 6 years is like, wow, that's a tall order to say.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, I saw like on his Twitter account, he's been doing like Muay Thai and he's been in the gym and I don't think he's been as far away from it as we think. I mean, and you got to think back to when he was wrestling, years ago. He was a hell of a wrestler, really. I mean, that guy was not scared to do anything. I mean, when he jumped from, one side of the ring to the other, on the trash can in the corner and off the Titantron, and he would just dive out of the ring. And
yeah, he would go coast to coast a lot too. Like he'd set up the trash can and go from turnbuckle to turnbuckle. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he was like a great wrestler, but he was definitely exciting to watch. Like he was he was a high spots guy for sure. Like he was a I don't want to make
Spot
this
monkey.
I don't want to make this great comparison, but he was like a Jeff Hardy kind of guy. Jeff Hardy's a guy that I never really considered to be a great wrestler, but he was just crazy and people liked him because of his style and right. he did those high spots. Like Shane O'Mac was kind of the same deal. Like one, it was very surprising because he's not a wrestler and he was like doing these things.
He's not gonna do a collar and elbow tie up with anybody and
right.
be doing suplexes and stuff like that. He's gonna do the classic Miz, offense, punches and kicks, and then he's gonna dive off the top rope at something.
Right. I wonder
But
if he's
it
gonna
looks
wear the
awesome.
baseball jersey.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, in the track pants, like the wind pants, Adidas. With the,
I hope
three
he's still got
stripes.
his old gear like sitting around, the red
That'd
and
be
black.
fantastic. I wonder if the Mean Street Posse will accompany him to the ring.
I doubt it.
Joey Abs.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know what those guys are up to nowadays, but oh man. So anyway, yeah, Raw was so much better than Fastlane, through and through. I thought. I mean, and we're not doing like a Raw review or anything, but I thought it was really great. There were some people that like texted us that were like, "Hey, I've been kind of off the grid for the last couple of days. Like, I only have so much time. Like, what can we? What should I watch? Raw or Fastlane?" I think it was Alan actually from Wrestle Review. Facebooked that, and he was like, "We're all like Raw, definitely Raw, like Raw, like not Fastlane at all. Raw. I just sounded like Lady Gaga.
Do you think? I mean, it sounds absurd,
Nothing
in a company that is wanting to make money. But do you think they would intentionally tank a pay-per-view so that Raw seems better?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question because
it definitely fits into the storyline. That Fastlane was, pretty god awful except for one or two matches.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that it would be kind of out there, like in the locker room, kind of out there like that, but it might have been written to kind of be a little bit mediocre. Because if you're a performer, and I'm assuming, but if I'm assuming that a guy like Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens, like they're not gonna, if they're told like, hey, tone it down out there, that's a huge turnoff. Like, I don't think Kevin Owens wants to work for a company that is telling him, hey, like, we're actually going to tank this pay-per-view. Oh, and then guess what? You're not going to be on Raw the next night. I don't know if that's like his MO. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm sure, money's going to make anybody do something, but it's like, I don't know. I can't imagine that happening.
He would be hijacking NXT shows faster than you could say, Milwaukee.
Nice. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't as, internally broadcasted with everybody, but it definitely seemed like it wasn't their best effort from a creative kind of perspective. But I don't know.
So speaking of other awesome things, have you seen the Bayley and Finn Balor videos?
Yeah, absolutely. I have it written down to talk about it. Let's talk about it right now.
They did the where she did his entrance and then he did her entrance and then they did Dirty Dancing, and
They're amazing.
It was amazing.
I texted some of the guys, Gregulator and Boosh today, and I was like, are Bayley and Balor like effing or something? Like, what is going on? Like, they are always together now and doing like fun, quirky stuff. I thought that was really, really funny. The Dirty Dancing thing. I watched that today as well.
I think it's just the fact of the culture of NXT where it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Right.
It takes itself as a wrestling show, where people are trying to be entertained, and you have two entertaining baby faces working on top who pretty much have carte blanche to do what they want because, they're the top two. So, and the fact that the women's division in NXT is right on par with the men's, that you have that, level of respect and I don't know, admiration for the two, in the WWE, the Divas division is nowhere near the world champion,
Right.
But in NXT, the women's NXT champion and the men's NXT champion, they are eye to eye,
Yeah, and even more, I think that the women's division is almost a little bit better than the men's division in NXT. I mean, if you think of like the contenders and like how much they're on the show. Maybe not so much now that like those those three kind of moved on. But I don't know. I think that the NXT women's division gets
there's so many good girls down there.
So many good wrestlers.
So many good.
And if you think of like the men's division, it's still great. I mean, there's still like the Samoa Joes and, you know, Baron Corbin's and stuff, but like the women's division seems to have a lot of like fresh faces kind of near the top there that are really exciting to watch, you know, like Nia Jax.
The girls, the girls they bring in, you know, like they brought in those Shimmer and Shine girls there for a little bit that did some shows. Shaza McKenzie and what's Santana Garrett was there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
these girls can all wrestle, and they didn't look like, you know, jabronis when they were in there. They looked like serious world traveled indie wrestlers coming in to test their mettle, you know?
Right. And they've been doing it too with the guys, like like they had Rich Swann on a little while ago. They just had like Biff Busick on the other night. Like they've brought guys in who are outside of NXT. Just, I don't know if they're just bringing them in as a tryout thing, or if it's just kind of like, hey, we get it. Like, you guys like indie wrestling. Like, here's some more indie wrestlers. And it's just like a stop of theirs if they're like in Florida or something. But it's definitely neat. I definitely love what they're doing in NXT. And, you know, this definitely doesn't have to turn to an NXT conversation or anything, but it just seems like it's a little less serious down there. Kind of like what you said, like it's a wrestling show, and every night it's kind of like a fun house show. And some of those shows are the best shows that I've ever been to. And I've been to like house shows and Raws and pay-per-views, and some of those fun house shows are just the best because there's no rules. They don't necessarily have to follow a storyline. You're not constantly criticizing it.
They're not as pressed for time because it's not TV. I mean, remember when we were kids, we went to the house show and The Godfather came out. It did like 25 minutes in the ring by himself with the hose.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I also remember, like, you know, Kane and Rock in a cage match at the Cumberland County Civic Center. You know, it's like that didn't even make any sense. Like, I mean, they were both, you know, top guys, I think, at the time, but it was like, you know, I don't think they were in a storyline together. They just kind of were floating around towards the top, and that's what cool house shows are for. And when you get something cool like Bailey and Finn to just kind of do their own thing, and they just can just go out and do whatever they want, it's pretty awesome because they're both way over with the fans, and you know, and they're obviously good buddies, so they work off each other pretty well. So I love seeing their videos. So it's a lot of fun. You know what used to be fun but isn't so much fun is the Edge and Christian shtick. Like, have you watched their show yet?
Yeah, I watched it. I liked it. I think it's not gonna last long. I could see getting tired of it. But
yeah,
you know, if there was like 6 episodes, I think that would be at the max level of episodes I could watch of it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I watched 1 episode and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I got another one in the holster. Like, I can't do it. My problem is that it's the same old Edge and Christian shtick from, you know, 99, 2000 or 2000 or whatever. Like, I can't take it seriously anymore because, like, that was kind of cool in 2001 and 2 or whatever, when they were kind of coming into their own personalities, and you're like, oh, these guys used to be part of the Brood, and now they're like funny and have these quirky personalities. But, you know,
they're doing
16 years later, right? And it was funny and new and fresh. But, you know, 16 years later, you're like, okay, I got it. Like, even just some of the weird things that they're saying, like bringing in like midgets and stuff. Like,
I love their intern and the awkward fucking interviews they make him do. That one he did with John Cena, it was brutal to watch. But
I don't know. I must not have seen that one, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know. I just can't get into it at all. I think that it's just very lame and over the top.
John Cena if he could go to the bathroom, and John Cena's like, you invited me here. This is your place. You can use your bathroom.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, that seems all right, but I don't know, with them like dressing up, like I don't know, doing like the Shakespeare stuff. I'm like, oh my god, this is so lame. Like, what is this?
Ugh.
I just can't. I just couldn't do it. So, um, I do find it funny how much Christian like lives in Edge's shadow, though.
Oh my god.
There, I said it. I said it. Like even when they were on Raw, doing their thing with like the cutting edge show, like it was like, you know, and here's, Christian, and then they gave the Edge like this huge intro, and I was like, oh man, that intro sucked for Christian. It was like former world heavyweight champion Christian and King of the Ring, Hall of Famer, blah 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 blah, and it was like a long Edge, and Christian's just over there like, all right. So, but that's kind of been his thing, his entire career, I guess. Living in Edge's shadow. I don't know if people talk about it, but it's very
man not liking him. So
it's very apparent. And he just grabs his wrist too much.
So I am very interested in the New Day versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. They've been just going back and forth, and Kenny Omega says that like he'd be all for a talent swap or whatever, and having them come over and wrestle in Japan, and then those guys would go over and wrestle in the States. And have you seen any of that?
Oh yeah, I've seen the trash talk online. I would be all for that as well. I don't know if that would happen because again, like you mentioned earlier, it's a publicly traded company. There's a lot of people that would say no go. We don't want our talent risking. We don't want Kofi getting hurt over there, like all this stuff. So I would love to see it, though, and I think that would be a really cool thing, and it'd be good for both parties. Both three-man kind of little factions there, like they have just intense charisma. Everybody's just so funny.
Oh yeah,
get those guys in a ring. I could watch that for 60 minutes. Like that'd be great. It'd be awesome. I'm all for it. I don't think it would ever happen, but it'd be fantastic. So, yeah, I don't know. What else would be? Oh, so WrestleMania is coming up. I don't know if you heard about this pay-per-view at all, but it's called
the show of shows.
Yeah.
Where's it gonna be? Austin, Topeka, no, Dallas. That's right.
Yeah. So we have 3 matches announced for WrestleMania. Like we said earlier, Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Triple H defending the World Heavyweight Championship, WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. And then we also have Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, which I'm very interested to see.
In a no-holds-barred street fight.
Yeah. I really like this match. I think I said this, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago that I was like, I could buy that. I'd buy that match at WrestleMania. And this is where like
I can only buy it if Dean Ambrose has weapons.
Yeah, I mean it's no holds. I mean that's the thing. Like Brock Lesnar has to be like protected so much because he's basically booked as this unstoppable beast. Well, because he is. Like nobody's gonna beat like in a straight up match like Ambrose. It's unbelievable for Ambrose to beat him. So
right.
So it's weird. They always have to get really creative with Brock because of how they've booked him over the last couple of years. Outside of maybe Cena or I don't even know who else. Undertaker beating Brock maybe straight up, but even Undertaker's kind of a thing now. He's got to do like low blows and all this stuff. So it's going to be interesting. I think they had to make it a street fight that way, like you said. Ambrose can use some weapons, so he's going to pull out all the stops. It wouldn't surprise me if Ambrose won. I mean, if they came to their senses and listen to the crowd, the fans kind of really want to get behind Ambrose. I would definitely put Ambrose over. And I don't know if Brock wants to do that at WrestleMania, but I think it would work. I think the fans would go nuts. It'd be a nice WrestleMania moment. And then I don't know what Brock's plans are after WrestleMania, but I'm sure he's due for a break because he's been going at it for a couple months now. So I know he doesn't like to work, that consistently. So he can take a break.
Last year too, he worked WrestleMania, the next Raw, and then that was it until almost SummerSlam. So
right, yeah. So he could probably do for a break. And Ambrose, we know he's what did he call himself? Like the Iron Man or something the other night? I thought it was, or maybe the last couple of weeks he made reference to like the WWE's Iron Man, which I thought was very cool. He seems to take a lot of punishment and just keep on going. So he'll be back on Raw the next night, no matter what, whether he gets the shit kicked out of him or not.
Yeah.
So, and then moving forward with him, I mean, I think the only logical thing to do would be to, depending on Seth Rollins, I would say you take Ambrose and you put him right for that title. You gun him right for that title, maybe with Reigns, who I'm sure is going to beat Triple H at WrestleMania, and he will be your 3-time champion. What do you think about that? What do you think about Roman Reigns being a 3-time champ in like 1 year? It's pretty gross, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody said that he would tie HBK. I don't know how accurate that is, but it seems
within like
accurate.
6 months. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts? That's so silly.
Ric Flair had to wrestle for 40 years to be a 16-time champion.
Right. Just imagine like how many Roman Reigns is going to have at the end of 16 years. So you have like 50.
Oh yeah,
50. Keeps losing it every week. So,
like right now, I think, Cena will probably break it before he retires, but after that, it's going to be just a free for all.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you figure there's just only so many guys. I mean, there's a lot of young talent right now, and they're kind of all poised for the belt. If you look at like who is going to lead into the next whatever couple of years, it's going to be, Seth Rollins, KO, Ambrose, Reigns.
And I get it. It's not the 1970s anymore. You can't have Bruno Sammartino carry the belt for
40 years.
2,000 days.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely interesting. There's going to be guys like, it's weird when you think about like, does a guy like AJ Styles get a shot at it? Does he get to carry the title at some point in his career? I don't know. Like, I would like to see it, but
yeah, I mean, he's just so small. I think Vince is going to be crapping all over him because he's so small.
Yeah. Where does Ziggler stand? Does Ziggler ever get a shot at the top again? Or is he just like destined for mediocrity? And then does he even sign with WWE like for the long haul? Does he just go away? Like, there's with all this young crop talent coming in, like it's just you gotta think about that stuff. Finn Balor. I mean, does Finn Balor, he's obviously going to be a future champ. I mean, he's NXT champ. Kind of seems seeing how it works there. So,
and then you got, other guys down there fighting for the championship, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews. I mean, these are guys that they want to have them be champions someday. So, the title is going to change hands a lot. So,
yeah, Bray Wyatt, I think, will be champion someday, but it'll be, he'll have it once or twice maybe in his entire
career. You have to win a match, John. You have to win a match to win a championship.
Oh my God. Can we just talk about the Wyatts for a minute? How messed up is their scenario?
No, they can't get a win ever.
They're just, I mean,
it must be a leadership problem. Put Luke Harper in charge and see what happens.
I guess, but it's like, I think Bray is fine. I love Bray, but it's like,
I do too.
It's just, you can't do anything when you don't get wins. Just like you just said, you got to get wins, man. You can't lose to Big Show, Ryback, and Kane on a pay-per-view, even if it's a shitty Fastlane. Like, you can't lose that match and then have no response for it. Just like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna sit down here at the announcer's table and just play with my hair.
Yeah,
it's like, and I don't know, man. It's like, that's, talk about like just a missed opportunity with a great gimmick, just an awesome gimmick. The mystery behind like Sister Abigail, like introduce Sister Abigail for fuck's sake. Like, my God, like do something with that. Like, this is like a fucking
For
comic
whatever
book.
reason, every once in a while, WWE gets in this mindset that if somebody has a losing streak, they can make them huge stars. It hasn't happened yet, but they keep thinking it'll work. I mean, they've tried it with uh poor Barrett. I mean,
He's gone, man. He's gonna be done.
yeah.
He's not gonna resign. So that'll be
If I
interesting.
was
Good
him,
for
I wouldn't
him.
resign either.
Same here. I was thinking the same thing. I mean, I'm sure the money's great, but it's like, you know,
You know,
he
some of those mid card guys that are just dripping with talent and charisma. I mean, just think how popular they'd be if they went, to ROH or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, or, you know, I mean, I'm talking Stardust, Fandango, even Ziggler, guys in that tier,
yeah.
who are always around the Intercontinental Championship, always around the US title, but never really in the main event picture, the
Yeah.
WWE Championship. Just, I mean, if I
Dude,
was
even
getting
if they went to
crap,
TNA, I know that TNA is kind of like a cesspool of garbage that people like, but you know what, man? TNA has some pretty good wrestlers.
yeah,
And like,
Ron Killings was a champion over there, wasn't he?
yeah, and Christian was
Christian
like,
was.
and like when
AJ
those
Styles.
guys went, yeah, AJ Styles, like when those guys went there, like it was good, like it was fun to watch. So, dude, if you throw Barrett, if Barrett, leaves at the end of his contract when it runs out and he goes to TNA, like, dude, he's a huge star over there. Like that's huge.
Yeah, he could
Him
be
and
battling
him and
EC3
I was
right
just gonna say
away.
him and EC3, that'd be crazy. Like it
Oh,
just
just the promos alone.
yeah, man. Like I don't know why TNA has such a hard time like getting over because like the wrestlers are pretty good. Like, Matt Hardy and EC3's feud blows me away. Like they are constantly talking shit to each other on Twitter and it makes me laugh so hard. And it's like you don't have that kind of aspect in WWE because it's so like PG and like very safe, except with the exception of like Kevin Owens, who's just a monster on Twitter.
I can't remember if it was Matt or Jeff the other day. It was like, you know what sucks? And it was like Matt Hardy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, but yeah, man, you throw Barry, you throw Ziggler, you take Ziggler out. Ziggler just goes like over to TNA. Like that company is hugely elevated.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it, because I want to see TNA succeed because I want competition for WWE because I want WWE to be great again. And when they don't have that competition, they get so lazy, and Ring of Honor is great and PWG is great and New Japan's great, but it's like they don't have that same appeal that WWE has had, right. Since 1982, and so it's just they need competition. And dude, I am right there with you. I think some of these guys that are the lower card to mid card guys that are super talented could go someplace else and just be phenomenal. Like.
Well, look at Del Rio. Del Rio was a major player over in, Lucha Underground last year.
Yeah.
He comes over here. Yeah, he wins the U.S. title, but what has he done lately?
Yeah, short-lived and like just doesn't have a great reaction. Like they've just written him, in just such a weird spot, with at first with Zeb Coulter, and they never finished off that feud with Jack Swagger at all. And I'm pissed at Jack Swagger, by the way. Jack Swagger's been really denying me some retweets or some likes. That guy owes me big time. I sent him the cutest video of my son and nothing, just birds chirping from Jack Swagger. My kid put all that effort into learning the We the People, and Mr. Jack Swagger, you are disappointing, sir. I still like Jack Swagger, but he is.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. He is slowly fizzling out. So, but hey, he's another guy. Where would Jack Swagger fit in? You take he's a house, man.
Oh,
dude,
I think he could go over to TNA and tear shit up.
Absolutely, dude. He goes to New Japan. He'd be like a huge attraction. Like they love big guys in Japan. You know what I mean? Like right. Vader was a monster in Japan. Like he loved going to Japan. Like Swagger is a monster of a dude. He could just toss around those guys and it would be fun to watch. So I don't know, man. Like, it's just they have so much talent. You know, Damian Sandow could be like the top heel in TNA if he wanted to be. But you know, he's just, you know, he's probably just content collecting paychecks like most of these guys. You know, Curtis Axel probably the same deal. You know, probably makes a good buck, and you know, that's about it. But I don't know, man. It's frustrating though when like your favorite superstars just like aren't. You know, you have to watch the show Superstars to see your favorite guys. And
Yeah, I find I've been watching a lot of main event and a lot of Superstars lately.
yeah,
Why?
you've been telling me. Yeah.
Because it's the only place I can see Stardust wrestle and Fandango wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are two wasted talents right there. Like, you know, they do stuff with Stardust every once in a while, like with the Stephen Amell stuff, but you know, I think that kind of came and went in WWE's eyes, and Stardust is just kind of like still doing it like in real life, which is very, very cool. I love how he
crashed him at a Dallas comic convention.
Yeah, he lives that character.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know how the rest of WrestleMania kind of hashes out. You know, they have those 3 matches right now.
Yep.
Taker versus Shane, Triple H versus Reigns, and Brock versus Ambrose. I don't know how the rest of it shakes out. You know, there'll be the Divas match. You know, there'll be Charlotte versus
Sasha or Becky.
Probably both. I bet it's a triple threat.
Well, they're having the number 1 contenders match, I guess, on Raw.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Who's in that? Just Sasha and Becky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sasha and Becky.
See, why not just make that a triple threat? Like, God, those triple threat matches and those 4-way matches on NXT were so fucking good. Like, why not just make it a triple threat at WrestleMania and just tear the fucking house down? Like, why not do that? You know? Like,
yeah. It's just, you know, it's how they do things on the big show, you know? Yeah. They just let stuff slide. If it doesn't make sense, just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. I love how they kind of just like snuck in a Brie Bella title attempt.
Yeah.
Just for for no reason.
Like in the middle of Becky Lynch's like hot little run she had going on there, all of a sudden Brie Bella gets a title shot.
Right. It's the same thing. And like Sasha came out and like, you know, like what was it at the end of the Rumble? Yeah, it was the end of the Rumble. Yeah, like, well, not the end of the Rumble, but the end of, you know, their match at the Rumble. Like, Sasha came out and like kicked Becky out, and then like turned on Charlotte, and then it's like, oh, okay, she wants the belt, and then it was like, okay, nope, Brie Bella gets a title shot for nothing, for no reason, because she beat her like on a SmackDown or something. I don't know, but it was just like pretty bogus, and you know, and it was clearly political. It was clearly like, well, Daniel Bryan just retired, so we're going to try and cash in on some of the Daniel Bryan stuff by putting Brie Bella in there. And again, like that's kind of like the bullshit that I hate, when it's like very obvious and it doesn't really fit in, but that's when like the business gets involved with the product. You know what I mean? I hate when the business gets involved with the product. I hate that shit. I hate like Total Divas falls into that category. Like there's all this stuff that they do because it's legitimately, really, I know it's cliche to say, but it really is like best for business. What they think? Like, well, we got to do this because this happened on Total Divas. It's like, I don't give a fuck about Total Divas. I just want a linear story that goes from Raw to SmackDown to pay-per-view. That's it. That's all I want. And it just, they rarely have it. So, it's especially with the Divas. Like, they definitely don't have it with the Divas at all. So
no, it's weird because they'll hit and then they miss. Like right now, I think that Charlotte as a heel is a hit. She's Absolutely. Way better as a heel.
Yeah, way better. Yep.
You know.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of, I think Sasha is going to have one of those careers that she can kind of come and go, but the crowd is different now. I think the crowd just loves her no matter what, and they love certain superstars, and she is going to be like she's going to be like a Stone Cold, like where she's supposed to be bad, but she does like kind of bad shit sometimes, but the crowd just loves her, you know? Right. And, but you know, she's a face right now, and that's working well for her. And you know, and Becky Lynch is the same way. Like in NXT, Becky Lynch played a pretty good heel, and now she's a face, and she's kind of bubbly, and everybody loves her, and it works. I don't really have anything bad to say about.
She was a heel when she
either
won at the end of that fatal 4-way match, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, as soon as she won the title, like the next week, she was a baby face.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. It's interesting to see what they're gonna do there. So, it'll probably be Sasha against Charlotte, and then I would hope that Charlotte wins. That'd be a nice WrestleMania moment. I think, especially after all the hard work that Sasha has done on NXT and those great matches with Bayley, I think that would be a really great kind of reward for all of her hard work. I know Triple H loves her, so that'd be nice. And not to knock Charlotte at all, I think she's done a great job, with the belt. So, but I think it's time to move on. So, I don't know, man. I think that probably wraps it up. We talked a little Mania. We talked a little Bayley Finn. We briefly touched on Fastlane. Talked a whole lot about Fuller House. I think I think we're good. I think we're good. It's a 5-star fucking show, man. So, all right, man. Well, let's call it a night. Harmon, again, where are you at on Twitter, my man?
I am Fight Harmon Fight at Harmon316 on Twitter.
Fight Harmon Fight. I love that. I love it. Oh, man. I am at Johnny Fashion on Twitter, and we recently just started a new Twitter account for this show, actually.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. It is ISR2M podcast at ISR2M podcast. It's the Real to Me podcast on Twitter. We are still very, very, very much part of the Smark and Mark gang. So check Smark and Mark _ PW on Twitter, and go to smarkandmark.com.
Hey, are you giving away free stuff tonight?
I might let it ride a little bit longer, try to get some more stuff. So if people want to, if people want to follow and retweet the tweet that I sent out, we're going to be giving away a Jack Swagger wristband, says We the People on it. And then out on Facebook, we are going to be giving away a WWE This Is Awesome koozie. So go to those places and, spread the word, and we'll pick a winner, and, I'll be in contact with you. Send it out via, little giveaways. We're going to do some giveaways every once in a while here.
Like and share, folks. Like and share.
Like and share, all that good stuff. Yeah. And so the whole thing with the new Twitter, we're just trying to get it out there. We just started. So, follow, retweet some stuff. We're gonna have some fun stuff on there, and it has, it's not like separated from Smark and Mark or anything. It was a thing that we just wanted to do, just so Harmon and I can kind of have mutual control and be a joint unit instead of our more personal stuff, because I've got a lot of
I can tweet at Colt Cabana again.
You can tweet at Colt again. Good. Yep. Well, it's like I follow a lot of stuff that kind of isn't having to do with wrestling. Like, I follow a lot of entrepreneurs, and I follow a lot of writers and authors and comedians and all kinds of all kinds of different avenues. I follow the entire cast of Fuller House. And so so obviously we just wanted to start a Twitter handle for this show. So again, that's at ISR2M podcast. All right, Harmon, what do you got? Anything else?
I don't. I'm beat. Work beat me up this week. So
all right, man. Well, have a good weekend, Harmon. I'm
going to. Right. I'm gonna play Far Cry Primal and probably fall asleep with a controller in my hand.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's a video game, John.
Sounds like it.
You're a caveman.
I am a caveman. I haven't played a video game since.
No, I meant in the game. You're a caveman.
Oh, I thought you said I'm a caveman. I was gonna say that makes total sense, because I haven't played a video game since Baldur's Gate. So, all right.
Hey, we did play a little Madden 98 over your house the other day, or
that's true, on the PS2.
Oh no, it was like 2008 or something like that. it had guys we knew. So
yeah, it was 2008, but it was on the PlayStation 2. That's the latest gaming system I have, I think. So anyway,
I love you, brother.
I know. Right back at you. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and all kinds of jazz. So thanks a lot. Peace out, y'all.
Bye.